Welcome back, Nerd Squad. My name is Roy Destroya, and this is Top 10 Nerd. Villains are fun enough as it is. Everyone knows the dark side is the best, but sometimes our favorites need a bit of sprucing up to keep things fresh. This is where alternate versions come into place. Villains with different sets of skills, abilities, and stories. So let's take a look at some of the coolest top 10 alternate versions of villains. In the number 10 spot, we have Mutant Poison Ivy. This version of Poison Ivy occurred in the Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover, and she finally got to become literally one with nature. As a patient in Arkham Asylum who encountered a mutagen, she's transformed into a giant praying mantis-like creature, which is quite a suitable form for her actually, knowing how she works, because what does a lady mantis do after finding her mate? Rip his head off. Coming in at number 9 is Red Sun Luthor. Red Sun Superman is one of the most highly regarded variations of Superman, but the comic also includes an interesting form of the famed villain Lex Luthor. Except here, he's not a villain exactly, at least not in the eyes of America. Instead, he is a valued scientist, who is also married to Lois Lane, as weird as that seems. He eventually becomes the president of the US and makes it his mission to take down Soviet soups. He may have won the White House, but he didn't exactly win his wife here. Next at number 8, we got Ultimate Mystique. Mystique in the Ultimate Universe was actually a lot closer to the X-Men than in other versions. Namely, she was the lover of Charles Xavier. That is, until Emma Frost came along. So after this, she's a little salty, don't blame the girl, and she gets all buddy-buddy with Magneto. But she's not completely out of X's house. Apparently Emma named their cat after Mystique when the cat destroyed Xavier's office decor. But sounds to me like Emma and the cat have more in common than Mystique. They are both homewreckers. In the number 7 spot is Exile's Carnage. In the Exile storyline, the Carnage symbiote bonds with our friendly neighborhood Spidey, who isn't particularly friendly here. Rather, he's a bit of a sociopath. By a bit, I mean a lot. At one point, he was sentenced to 67 life sentences in a court of law, but of course, who's gonna enforce that? He served in Hyperion's Weapon X team until Firestar finally washed that spider out. Coming in at number 6, we have Zabar. The world of All-Star Superman featured many Bizarro-type clones, but Zabar was a bit of a special case. Instead of being the stupid and reverse clone of Superman, he had a much more intellectual mind and appeared a lot more human than his comrades, meaning he also didn't really have any powers. Because of this, he felt isolated from the other Bizarros and tried to fight his loneliness by participating in the arts. He does form a friendship with Superman, even offering him some of his poetry to take back to the Fortress of Solitude. Next up at number 5 is Kingpin. Wilson Fisk, otherwise known as the Kingpin of Marvel's 1602, otherwise known as King's Pin, was a menacing pirate who commandeered a ship called the HMS Vanessa. Vanessa being a nod to his wife in the mainstream continuity, Vanessa Fisk. Gives a whole new meaning to the saying, "I ship that." He was known for taking no prisoners and even tried to conquer the Mayflower ship as it carried Peter Parquois and Norman Osborn, but alas, it was man overboard for him. Up next at number 4 is Doc Ock Noir. Spider-Man Noir reimagined the infamous Dr. Octopus as a South African doctor working on Ellis Island. He was born disabled and is confined to a wheelchair when he is outfitted with mechanical arms, of course. Growing increasingly racist and xenophobic, he aligned himself with the Nazi Party and started kidnapping African Americans for experimentation, with the goal of making minorities into slaves. Of course, when he finally had the chance to actually join the Nazis, they rejected him for being disabled. Ironic, really. In the number 3 spot, we have Zombie Red Skull. As if he needed anything more extreme to his appearance, Red Skull was one of the many villains that got zombified as a part of Marvel Zombies. Rather than a relentless hunger for power, here he has a relentless hunger for flesh, namely that of Captain America's. And he finally gets to dig in, quite literally, right before he was decapitated. But according to him, everything was all worth it for that one moment. Coming in at number 2 is Injustice Doomsday. Superman encountered this version of Doomsday in the Injustice Gods Among Us prequel comic. He takes action by shuttling Doomsday to outer space, and it's here that he's realized he's made a terrible, terrible mistake. Turns out this version of Doomsday was completely hallucinated by Scarecrow's fear toxin. Who was it actually? Poor Lois Lane, who, as we suspected, cannot breathe in space very well. Kinda understandable why Injustice Superman became such a dick. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we've got Hyena. Cackling Canine Creed Quinn, who becomes the Hyena of the Amalgam Universe, was a combination of 2 extremely popular and feared villains, DC's Joker and Marvel's Sabretooth. He was a candidate of the Weapon X program that turned out to be everything they could have hoped for, a killing machine. Until he goes rogue, then they kinda realized maybe they should have instilled at least some empathy in their projects. Nah, empathy is for losers. So those were the top 10 alternate versions of villains. Let me know in the comments comment section down below which of these versions was the coolest. My name is Roya Destroya, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another nerdy list.